Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday. That means Shades of Bravo. And I'm lucky because today I have my friend with me. Her name is Amy Phillips. You may have heard of her.
Oh, hi. And you may have heard of Mary Payne, the most
Yes.
gorgeous, fabulous gal in the podcasting universe, who I probably talk about you more times than myself, which says a lot because I love to talk about myself.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I haven't heard you talking about me, but now I shall be tuning into Drama Darling 3 times a week on the free feed to make sure you're not talking shit about me.
Well, 2 times a week on the free feed.
Oh, okay. 2 times a week on the free feed.
I'm 2, and then I'm over on the Patreon, patreon.com.
Patreon is
Drama
3 times a
Darling.
week. Yes?
Yeah, and more. Like I
And
do a
more.
bonus ep, so like 4 about that. Oh my God, the Jinx, baby reindeer.
I'm glad you just said the Jinx because I'm going on an
Yes.
airplane tomorrow and I was thinking, I was like, there's something I need to watch. The Jinx.
And have you seen baby reindeer yet? I mean, it's really,
It's real fucked up.
yeah. Did you
Real
see
fucked
it?
up. Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Yeah, you did.
I
Okay.
did.
All right. Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I don't need to even talk about it. It's so upsetting.
It is.
It's upsetting. And then there's something else that everybody's been buzzing about, but I can't remember what it is. Unlocked. I did watch that. It was a prison show on Netflix. Real good.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
You gotta be hardened to the prison language to get through it, but it's a good one.
I love that. Maybe I can finally get Brett to watch some reality television with me if I watch Unlocked.
All right, let him know that it's about this sheriff in Pulaski County, Arkansas, who
Mhm.
wants to take one unit of the prison and do a experiment
Oh my
and
God.
see instead of
sounds
having
terrifying.
these are like murderers, have them so they're in for 23, out for 1. They're on a 23-1, so they only come out 1 hour every day. So he
Okay.
decides, what if I open the doors and let them out all day and put no deputies in there and let them like police themselves. Let's see what happens.
Oh, I saw like the promo where the prisoner's like, they're letting us out, right?
Yeah.
Open the doors. They're opening the doors. Okay, that's
Opening
it.
doors.
And
Yeah.
it's really good, huh? Okay.
It's really good because it's very interesting how like some people immediately like take on a leadership role and then like, okay, the rules were there for a reason. So we have to keep the rules so that we can keep this freedom. And then like he lets them have the phones for free. And so then they have to police themselves about how not to fight over the phones. Like,
Oh, wow.
and some of these people are 18 to life. Some of them fully have murdered people. A lot of them are gang members, different gangs.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. So you have to get over the fact that they say the N word every 14 seconds.
Oh,
So you
really? Oh, my
you have
God.
to you kind of have to harden your heart to it because they're speaking to each other.
But they bleep that out, right?
No bleeps.
No.
No bleeps. No bleeps.
No bleeps.
No bleeps.
Wow.
Yeah, they're in there like making their hooch and making their cigarettes out of coffee grounds. All this stuff I love. I love a prison series.
If I were to bump into you, at the local boutique, what I mean? Like the PTA boutique fundraiser, never would I ever imagine you'd be going home to watch Unlocked. Like, it's great. I love it. I love you so much. That's awesome.
I'm multi-layered.
Yeah, absolutely. As you should be, as we all should be. And it just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover.
That's right. And I can't remember who I was talking to the other day that was like, you like the Grateful Dead? I was like, yeah, I'm going to see 2 shows in Vegas here next month.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. A friend of mine they're there now, aren't they?
No, I think right now is Fish.
Oh, Fish. That's right.
Fish is doing a little Grateful Dead warm-up
Sorry,
set.
thank you. Yeah.
And they're like for 2 weeks, and the Grateful Dead's like 2 months, but only like Thursday through Saturday because they're old. They can't play every night.
But John Mayer, is he fronting him there or no?
Yeah, it's Dead & Co. So it's John Mayer.
Would be great. Oh my God. I have seen them once. I've seen Dead & Co. once here in Venice. I mean, sorry, not Venice. At the Forum. I just met up with my friend in Venice beforehand. And I wasn't necessarily a Deadhead, but I did dabble in the Grateful Dead. I mean, I think that's kind of like our era.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for sure. I mean, I went to shows in college with Jerry Garcia.
Yeah.
After college with Jerry Garcia, and then he died.
Yes.
So didn't see any shows for a long time. And then with this reiteration of Dead & Co., and somebody else was singing with Dead & Co. before John Mayer. I can't remember who, but I saw him then too. So Yeah, so I'm very excited. We just went to this show that was like the last tour ever. They're never going to see him again. And we went. And then, of course, they announced they were going to be in Vegas. I was like, they never
Oh,
die.
that's going to be
They
so
never,
great. Then they're at the Sphere, right?
at the Sphere. Yeah.
My gosh, that's going to be so amazing. Now, will you do drugs?
No, I will not do drugs.
Okay.
No,
All right. Fair enough.
no. I will have some alcoholic beverages,
Okay. That's good.
but that's it. My husband is a sober person, so he will have no alcoholic beverages and no drugs.
Okay. But
And
he
when
will be going to the show with you.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's so funny. He's like,
Hmm.
if I get bored, I just sit down and play Angry Birds. Like,
Angry Birds. He's still holding on to Angry Birds. That's amazing.
with his last breath. I think if there was an Angry Birds championship like they do with Fortnite,
Yeah.
he would win. He would win $1 million. He would win all the money. He's so good at it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Do you see
I,
your thumbs up
yeah,
on your
I
that's
know.
hilarious. I'm glad it's happening to you and not me because it freaks all of my guests out. Like that when that happens to me, the update
Yes.
gives the thumbs up. They're like, what's
Yes.
happening? One time there were fireworks.
Yes. And so there's like a thing, like if you do like this, it does like rain. Um, there's something about this is fireworks and like this will do something,
But
but
why
not
isn't it
every
doing
time.
it now? That's
I don't
so
know.
annoying. Okay.
I know, but I do know this one will always give you the hearts. See?
Oh,
Isn't it great?
I
You
love
like
it.
that?
There we
Yeah.
go.
See? Aw, cute. And we're done. I
And
said my love to you, Amy Phillips. I love you so much.
I love you too. I love you too.
I have a couple of announcements.
Oh, I love announcements.
Okay. Well, this
Okay.
is one. This is a big one.
Oh,
Okay. I'll do the small one first. The small announcement is I'm going to be out of town this weekend, so it'll be Bunky Takeover over on Pink Shade Prime with Meredith and Amy covering Seeking Sister Wife and Love in Paradise. So you guys
Oh.
can look forward to Meredith and Amy doing a collab over there for me in my stead. And the big announcement I have is that next Thursday, here in this very spot, will be an interview that I just did with Kathy Griffin.
Oh my God.
I didn't announce it or say anything about it because, you never know. Things sometimes fall apart at
Of
the last minute.
course. Wow. What a get.
I know. So it was amazing. She is everything you want her to be. I've read the books, been to her stand-up shows many times.
Yeah.
Love the D-List, which just came back on Peacock.
Oh, it did?
So,
Oh, okay.
mhm.
Yeah, that just came back. Okay. Mhm.
So I'm very, very versed. And she has a comedy tour called My Life on the PTSD List, and she's talking about this PTSD she had that happened. So all the Trump stuff happened to her. She was on the Do Not Fly list, being investigated by the Department of Justice,
Oh, yeah.
and then she found out she had lung cancer, had to have part of her lung removed, which then damaged her vocal cords.
Oh.
Her mother died. And then she's like in the middle of a divorce. So she's had some real bad times.
And that divorce was really something else, right? Because
and she got an addiction to painkillers after her surgery.
right, that's right.
Yes, she's had. I was like,
Didn't she go to like the mental institution too?
She said that she had suicidal ideation. Yeah, she was very, very ill mentally. Yes.
Wow.
So I was like, well, there's a book. That's a
She
book.
has been through it.
Yeah. So she's very happy to be on this tour. And it was great. It was so great to talk to her. She's just as funny. She was giving all sorts of scoop on celebrities that live near her and everything. She lives in Malibu now. She's like, Mel Gibson lives 2 doors down. He has a church in his backyard. I don't think that's legal.
That's hilarious.
Well,
that's exciting, Mary Payne. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That.
So I'll be putting some things out on Pink Shade Pod Instagram, some little teaser reels, building up to the episode that will come out next Thursday. So yeah. And I'll be in Mississippi tending to my mother's knee replacement surgery. So,
oh my
the
God.
high highs and the low lows.
Listen, God bless you. And last year it was July, I went back home to Michigan to take care of my mom for her hip replacement. So I feel you.
Okay. And your mom's doing great now?
Doing great. It was a long recovery because there were some things that were going on with like her sciatica that it like affected after the fact. But she's doing so great. And, the before and after is really, it's miraculous what they can do.
I know. That's what I'm really hoping it's going to be, just like life-changing.
Yeah, knee
Yeah.
replacement is hard. A knee replacement is harder than a hip replacement from what I've heard. So it's great you're going back. You're going to be in charge of all like the medication distribution, right? Because they cannot do that.
Yeah. Wrapping
Yeah.
of the knee in the ice and the
Yes.
yes,
How
yes.
long are you going to
All
be there?
I'll be there a week, but,
Great.
both of my sisters live there, so it's just gonna be like it's
Oh,
a tag team. It's a tag team.
that's so nice. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Mary Payne, lucky.
I need to tag in because I don't live there, so I need to go and tag
Right, you need
in,
to
let them tag
go,
out. Yeah.
yeah, do like the immersive experience so that you've really
Yeah.
done your job, like make some frozen meals, like, do what you can. I thought, like, when I went back, I really thought I was going to be able to do a lot of like meal prep for her.
Yeah.
Honest to God, no time at all. It was constant caring for her. And
Yeah.
and in fact, thank goodness for the people. Like, she's got a great circle of friends, and I'm sure your
Yeah.
mom does too. If she's anything like you, she probably has a million friends.
Yeah.
And people dropping off meals, ask if they can bring a meal. Yes, say yes. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Because
Yeah.
those meals saved us.
Yeah. I'm not worried about my mom. I'm worried about my dad not being fed because she's the one that feeds him.
That's
So
exactly with my mom
yeah.
too. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Because they
She can
can't do
figure it
it.
out, but she can figure it out with a broken knee. But my dad with no ailments will just
He will
wander
not.
around
Right.
aimlessly until someone puts food in
Yeah.
front of him. Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Eat soup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we say? Crackers? Somebody fix me some food. So yeah. So let's be honest. We're in charge
Yeah.
of feeding my dad.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, let's get into these shows. So we're still covering Vanderpump in the Valley over here on Pink Shade, and
Okay.
looking forward to having Jersey. Speaking of tagging in, have Jersey tag in because we've been without Housewives for a little bit.
Yes. And you know what? It's been kind of nice in a way because it's opened.
Yeah.
It always, people are like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. But I love it. It always gives a little elbow room to either revisit old classics,
Mm-hmm.
to branch out into other things and do some shows and dip in here and there where you haven't been able to. Full disclosure, and I'm so sorry, I probably should have told you this, but I don't cover the Valley until Thursdays. And so I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, well then I'll be telling you all sorts of information.
Okay, great. Because
Okay.
I mean, no spoilers here, but I am watching Vanderpump Villa as well, and I'm caught up on that.
Oh no, I can't.
Okay.
I can't. I'm not fucking with the villa. No. No.
Okay.
Too many V's. Victory,
I know.
Vanderpump Valley,
Honestly,
Villa. No.
I was like, this is just too much. Okay, so
I'm
anyway.
not going to France. No.
It's so, I have to tell you though, it is really funny because Lisa Vanderpump is, are you a Vanderpump person?
You mean, do I like her as a human?
Yeah. Or just like what not personally, just what she brings to the universe and what she's done, because there's a difference.
Yes, I think that she's done a lot for our reality shows, but I find her as a person, if I had to deal with her, she would bug me because she always laughs at her own jokes, and that really bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
But I can imagine her being pretentious in France is probably good television.
Yeah, it's really funny because, it's really beautiful. It is like Vanderpump in France. She just Vanderpumps the hell out of this entire villa.
Okay.
And then she's like, she's got all these people, the staff, and she's like, oh dear, they're up until 3 a.m. drinking and fighting. Oh dear, what are we going to do? Naughty, naughty. Meanwhile, of course, that's what she wants because it makes it makes for a greater show.
Yes.
And they're living there and working there, and they're shipped over there from the States, so it's like, it's an immersive experience, and it's an intensive, curated, incredible curated experience. Like, everything's curated for the guests.
Yes.
And it's very funny. And it's like Lisa and her epitome self. And that's kind of why I love it. Like, it's a little too much, but whatever.
All
anyway.
right, I made a note to add the Jinx and Vanderpump Villa to my weekend watching, because I'll have time to watch things.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying you should watch it. I mean, I think I gave you pretty much a pretty good sweep of it. Yeah. It's pretty
I'll just call you and get you
maybe,
to imitate Lisa.
Maybe
for me, and
one
then that's it.
episode just so you can see the villa, and it's really shot beautifully. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
I do love. All right.
You love it.
All right. Vanderpump Rules, season 11, episode 14, for old Tom's sake. Okay. It's all right. Not as good as last week, which was Jack's Attack. That was a good title.
Yeah, that was good. Jack's Attack.
It's a really good title.
Yeah,
I'm very into the titles of shows.
Yeah, I can see.
Um, so where we start off is Lisa is meeting with Katie and Ariana, and they explain what we've seen on the interwebs. They're having this problem with Penny.
Yeah.
Now, what happened with Penny? Penny wanted to be involved, and they were like, no, party of two, not party of three.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm really curious about this. And in fact, Brock on the after show said that he looked up the trademark, and I'm assuming the trademark for something about her, and he said it was in the name of Penny's husband, who was an attorney.
Ooh, well, maybe
So
that's what.
that's tricky.
Yeah, I know the Bravo docket ladies, I think, had posted something about that as well. That
Oh.
Penny was a full partner. And so it's interesting now that this is coming up on the show because somebody must have gotten wind that it was going to be talked about on the show.
So
But
she was a partner. So did she invest, you think?
oh, I think so. Yeah, but they don't
Oh,
want her now. Hmm.
this is really tricky business. This is why these types of things, you really got to have your T's crossed, because
Yeah.
before you get into it, you're screwed, and then you're in the middle of this web.
Yes. Yes. But they did say on Watch What Happens Live that it's opening May 22nd.
Yeah.
So are you going to the opening?
I didn't know there was an official. Well, I guess, I mean, I don't know.
No,
Should
I just mean, are you going to go stand on the street? Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay. If there's an official party, will you go?
Maybe. I did write a song last year about something about her. I don't know if you heard it, but
Okay.
it's a beautiful tribute to them, opening this new restaurant. And I should put it on SoundCloud, honest to God. It's on my Instagram, but I really need to like put my songs on SoundCloud, because someday I think I need to do an album.
Yeah,
For my cabaret and stuff. Yeah.
I think that would be great, and that's kind of goes along with the cookbook. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you could have an album of songs to go with the cookbook. Yeah,
Thank you. I think I
yeah.
should do that, Mary Payne.
Cross promo.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should definitely go find that song and pin it on your Instagram on May 22nd as a celebration.
Good idea. Okay.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
idea.
yeah. I gave
Right.
Kathy Griffin a good idea today too. I was like,
Oh, did you?
Are people paying me for these ideas? Look at
Yes.
me."
In love and respect.
Um, so now Sheena goes to meet with Kyle Chan, and Sandoval arrives. She's like, "Hi, Sandoval." Um, Tom cries in his confessional about Kyle being there for him as one of the only people that have been there for him. He's one of the coolest motherfuckers on the planet. And I was like, Kyle wants to be on the show. Let's don't get it twisted and sell his jewelry, which God bless.
Which he has for many
And maybe now his whiskey as well, whatever Kyle
years.
Chan.
Oh, right. The
Yeah.
whole point of the San Francisco trip. I forgot
Yeah.
why they were even there. Yeah.
Nobody else has anything to promote. They're like, let Kyle Chan promote his whiskey. He's done his time.
Let's give Kyle some time. Come on.
Sheena cries to Sandoval and says, like, you've been there with me since day one. Like, I want to repair our friendship. And I'm like, girl, you're on the wrong side of history.
I
get
appreciated her saying, like, I had to pick a side,
Yeah.
But it is really tough to see. And Ariana's so right. Like, Sandoval does not ultimately care.
No, he doesn't care. And last night, Watch What Happens Live, they were asking questions. And I think they said, right now, who is Sheena better friends with, Ariana or Sandoval? And they said Sandoval.
Wow.
Yeah. And Ariana's like, no
Yeah,
shade.
you're
It's
right.
just true. It's just true.
It is
Yeah.
true. It is. Yeah.
So blah, blah, blah. They cry. So Lala and Katie call Tom to tell him that he's not invited to
Mhm.
her 33rd party. And she was like, I wasn't going to go because I wasn't invited. She goes, well, just letting you know,
Right.
you're really not invited.
Lala just wants to show up to everything.
Yeah.
She's just like, I feel like someone's shooting somewhere at some point. I'm going to face everyone, She's just going to show up, much like Charisse did during Potomac. She just showed up when she saw cameras on the street, and she just
Yes.
popped in.
Yeah, it's a commercial. I don't care. I'm showing up.
I'm showing up.
Did we see in this scene with Lala and Katie, did you notice the pretzels and the Pellegrino, like full product placement? This is something I've
Pretzels?
really been picking up on lately
Oh.
because whenever you see Kristen and Luke's bedroom, there's always a big bottle of Prime right by the bed.
Oh.
It was in their old apartment and in their new apartment.
Oh my God. My husband drinks that.
Yeah. And so that's why I was like, did they move that one bottle from one apartment to the next, or they really have a bottle of Prime right by the bed? Is this a woman?
Always.
I mean, I was like, so I've been noticing this product placement lately. So they definitely were zooming
Yes.
in
Okay.
on the pretzels, those flat pretzels, whatever they're called, and the Pellegrino.
Mm.
Hmm.
So did San Pellegrino that used to sponsor Top Chef, because now it's what's the water over there? Oh my God.
Pellegrino, and
Well,
what's the other fancy one?
Saratoga Springs. So
Oh,
Saratoga Springs is now the main sponsor of Top Chef,
okay, okay.
but it used to be San Pellegrino, sponsored by San Pellegrino. That's my Padma. And so now I feel like they moved over to Pump Rules because
Maybe
they're
so.
out over there.
Yeah, they're out. And I will tell you that if you recall a famous scene between Ramona and Avery, when Avery said, to me, in our house, Pellegrino was just like water.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
Avery, it is just
Deep
water.
cut, Mary Payne. Deep
Yeah.
cut.
That's what I think about every time I see Pellegrino.
That's really
Like,
funny.
in our house, Pellegrino was just like water. Okay. She did graduate from UVA. Okay. Okay, now we go to Lala's 33rd birthday party, and she says she loves being 33. With each year, she becomes more and more badass. It's like, I would love to have a smidge of this confidence.
Truly
Love.
love to have been able to go to Stagecoach like Lala with my belly out, wearing like leotards and cowgirl boots and just living my best life.
Yeah,
Some of us
yeah,
have it, some of us don't. I
yeah.
wasn't one of them.
I'm in the don't. I'm in the don't.
Didn't.
They go to this cool burlesque place that I was just thinking about. Producer Ingrid. Producer Ingrid loves a burlesque show.
Mm.
She would have loved it.
Yes, Ingrid.
She loves it. She has a burlesque outfit that she made herself.
I wish she would have been in this episode, quite frankly.
Listen, there's a chance for next season. Yeah.
What now? Stay with me.
Okay.
But the main burlesque gal that came out with the
Mhm.
short, dark hair,
Yes.
was that the same gal that was in the Berkshires for the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls trip during the pandemic?
Surely not. That would be a very far distance to travel for a burlesque show. Did you think it looked like the exact same person?
Yeah.
I'd have to do a side by side. I'd have to do a side by side.
I think I'm wrong. All right. I just had to work it out.
Now we go to the Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras show. Have you ever been to one of these shows?
No.
Mm-mm.
Have
Okay.
you?
No.
Okay.
There's one coming up here, like in Annapolis or something. And Mandy Slutsko
Wow.
reached out. Like people have reached out. Like, do you want to go? I was like, no, I do not. I don't. I don't. The band itself,
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
The singer is the problem. The lead
front
singer
man.
is
Yeah.
the problem. He can't
Yeah.
sing.
No.
It's it's like so off key.
I
Yeah.
appreciate his falsetto.
Okay.
However,
Mhm.
if he was more of a charming personality, there would be so much to be forgiven, but
Yeah.
he's the villain. And so everything he does, we hate.
That's right. Even though his parents were there, that's not going to make us like you just because your parents were there.
No, but it did make me like his mom. I still do. Love
I
her.
lo-
She was she was looking at him like she was looking at the eclipse. She's like, it's like a little too bright to look at, but she can't take her eyes off of it. She's pretty proud, but not
Yeah.
quite sure. Is the
Yeah.
place going to go dark? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. She was proud, and that's good because
Yeah.
his mom loves him, so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Schwartz and Joe talk outside, and once again, Schwartz says the thing that we're really starting to get a grip on what Katie probably went through for a lot of years. He's such a gaslighter. He's like, no, like I love you, like you're my best friend, like we're gonna get married in 8 years. Like, hey, I didn't say that. Like what?
Also, I want to make things clear, I want to make sure that, I'm not giving you mixed signals. You always have been. And it's like, I feel he's like putty in my hand, like just dripping through. It's gross. It's gross.
He takes no stand. He takes no stand ever on anything. Ever.
And for him to really want to push the narrative that they are not together for the sake of they are on camera right now was just obnoxious. And like, to your point, to follow it up with like, in 8 years, we're going to get married. And then I'm glad they went right to the confessional. So Joe could be like, yeah, he is a roller coaster.
Mhm.
So terrible.
Yeah. And she's like, you just said we're getting married in 8 years. We're not. He's like, we're not. he's just doing everything he can to like,
Yeah.
but you still love me. I'm so lovable.
Yeah. It's so manipulative.
It is. Um, okay, so now we are headed to San Francisco. We get a talking head of Lala saying about Dan.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's weird that he would just meet Ariana and be like, yeah, she's the one. She just broke up with her boyfriend in 10 years. Sure, that's the girl I'd like to date. That was real rude.
Yeah. I understand that she's had a lot of issues in the past and she trusts no one now.
Yeah.
And she's made that very clear with everybody. But Ariana, thank goodness, in the after show was like, yeah, I mean, if he screws me over and he uses me, I'll be just fine. Like,
Yeah.
and I love that she spoke to that because, we don't know him from anyone. And honestly, I usually have that type of attitude towards anyone who enters the Bravo sphere when it comes to a
Mm,
partner. I'm always like extremely skeptical because they're all just too famous. And everyone has their own, agenda.
yeah.
So it's very possible that he might. I understand that. But as her friend, I mean, give him the benefit of the doubt and support her. She definitely could use someone. She could definitely use someone no matter what the scenario is. Well, I shouldn't say that because we don't want anyone to be used, but I do appreciate that he seems like a really good guy thus far, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What did you think when he took his hair down?
Well, I didn't
Oh,
expect that. I did not expect that. I did not
no.
expect it. I didn't know it was that long.
I know it was that long, but I mean, when he took it down, he was flinging it around. I was like, is Dan a
It's-
model?
I
Like,
know
what?
he's all wet. He's in a towel.
Yes.
Even Lala was trying to be like cool about it.
She was trying to look away, but she couldn't not look.
Hey,
Yeah.
you got a good body. Good for you. You work out? It's like
Oh my
Lala.
God.
That was
Oh my
really
God. She's like,
funny.
whoa. With Mother's Day coming up, I wanted to take a quick moment to appreciate not only the moms, but anyone who's taken on the role of caregiver. You do everything for everyone else. Now it's time to do something for you, starting with your skin. Today's sponsor, OneSkin, has a simple, scientifically validated routine that keeps your skin looking and feeling good. And here's the best part. It also targets the root cause of aging. The secret is OneSkin's proprietary OS01 peptide is the first ingredient proven to switch off the aging cells that cause lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. And they've got several studies to back it up. I've been using their products for a while now. I'm going to say several months, and I'm hooked. I put their moisturizer on at night, and I'm telling you guys, it's really working. But just don't take my word for it. OneSkin has over 4,000 five-star reviews. Now 4,001, am I right? And was recently recognized by Fast Company as one of the most innovative brands of 2024. For a limited time, you'll get an exclusive 15% off your first OneSkin purchase using the code PINKSHADE when you check out at oneskin.co. Oneskin.co. You do so much for others. Try OneSkin today and do something good for yourself, okay? And when they ask you, hey, where did you hear about us? Make sure you tell them Pink Shade. Thanks. So we see James on the airplane, and James is my nightmare on an airplane. He's like, we're going to San Francisco. Ooh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Woo! Trip, airplane. Woo! I was like, oh my God, James. He's bouncing in his seat. Allie's like, oh my God, James.
You know what? You're right. He was a toddler from beginning to end of this episode between
Yes.
the jumping up and down in the airplane, the jumping on the beds, the bubble bath. He really
Yes.
was his inner child.
Yes. Yes. And of course, I'm like, who's watching the dog? Is it his brother? It must be his brother.
That's right.
Yeah. Because he's going away and only the brother's allowed to watch the dog.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hippie's
Yeah.
got a real attitude problem.
Mm-hmm.
They
That
need,
dog's going to bite your face off.
yeah, it might happen. So, Sandoval says, like, I'm going to be low key around Dan. Like, maybe I should go up to him and give him, advice. But no, I'm just going to be like chill and not cause any problems. You're not in a place to cause any problems, dude. So just zip it. Zip,
Yeah.
zip.
Yeah.
They all go to their rooms, and Shorts, just a very typical Shorts, like does like a cannonball on his bed. He was like, "Oh my God, it's hard. The bed is so hard." It's like, this is just comedy. Like, I love this show. Please don't take it away from us. I love it so much.
Yeah, I love this episode too.
I love this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So they go on a boat. My notes are, it's scary.
Oh,
Ariana,
Cartagena. It reminded me of Cartagena. I couldn't think of the name on my
yes,
podcast today from New
yes.
York. That those swells.
I didn't like that either.
Ooh.
I did not like it because you have nothing to do but to go through it. You
And you
have
know
no
what?
choice.
Those Vanderpump stomachs, they they're fit for that type of journey. You know what I mean? Like they put themselves through the ringer when it comes to like
Yeah.
drinking, that
Yes.
those swells didn't bother one person on that boat. They were able
No.
to hold their cookies.
Mm-mm. James and Allie were out there taking pictures in the front. They were like, "What? It's nothing.
Nothing to
It's
them.
a Tuesday." Oh my gosh. So Brock and Ariana talk and they talk about forgiveness. And Ariana's like, here's the thing. I don't have to forgive anybody. And Brock's trying to tell her by like hanging on to this, like you're poisoning yourself and all this. And she goes, no, I'm not. But why is it on me to forgive him? Like it's not happening. I
Mhm.
really liked how she really uses a lot of good like therapy talk where she's just like,
Yeah.
nope, I'm protecting myself. I don't
Mhm.
have to forgive shit. I
Mhm.
She says over and over again, I have done nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's just sort of a mantra she tells herself because it's probably pretty hard to, with all the press and everything around it. And now she's kind of gotten some backlash. She's like, I did nothing wrong. I did
Mm.
nothing wrong. You know, I think
Yeah, that's a good point.
she has to tell herself that constantly to remember, like, why do people hate me? I did nothing wrong. You
Also,
know?
I think it's a good reminder for us too when she
Hmm.
says those things. That, she did not ask for this. And like you, I was like, Ariana took me to church with that sermon because her calling out an antiquated way of dealing with things is truly where I think we go wrong, and we feel the pressure of having to move on too quickly and not feel our emotions. We have to forgive and forget, and or we don't have to forget, but we have to forgive. And it's totally okay to hate somebody, to put your guard up, to protect yourself. As she
Yeah.
said, you don't have to do that to somebody that has traumatized you. And it's certainly, if you're not ready, you don't have to push yourself to do that. That's not your journey. And that's okay. And I love that she stands by it.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
I that resonated with me. I Brock didn't have anything to stand on after that. She
No.
disarmed him, and in such a beautiful way.
Yeah. I think she's just like, that's fine. And you can think that. And I think it's a lot. It's sort of like, okay, you should be over it, move on. She's like, this happened 3 months ago. And
Hmm.
I'm not over it, and I don't have to move on.
Yeah.
So everybody suck it.
Hmm.
Um, so now they have a 20s party. I don't know why. I don't know why we need another 20s party on our television. We don't need one. We don't need
Everyone's
it.
so sick of him, but I have to admit, I kind of love him. I think that era is really fun, and I know it's so overdone. It is so
Yeah.
overdone, but I don't really get sick of it because I don't think we've ever seen Vanderpump do it. So I liked their take on it. I mean, they all had the wingtips, and the guys were just like that, and James looking like a newsboy on the corner was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I kind
Yeah.
of liked it.
I love how whoever it was like, "Oh, you guys were in the same shoes to Tom and Ariana," and Sandoval's trying to like bond with her. He goes, "Yeah, right. Like Doc Martens, right?" And she goes, "No, mine are Steve Madden. Stupid." I did like that Schwartz walks over to Ariana and Katie. He was like, "Look at us back together again, just the three of us getting along." And they're like, "Don't get too comfortable." He's like, "I mean, I'm still subservient. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine."
It was weird. Like, who would have thought that they would be able to continue to shoot together?
She told him no. Like I will. If she said whoever is friends with him does not shoot with me.
Yeah. And the fact that she's showing up and
Hmm.
handling things so incredibly well. Ariana, to me, I mean, I had heard that at some point during the show, she was like, people are going to turn on me. And I don't see that at all. I don't know how anyone would turn on her. I think
I
she's
don't
been doing
either.
an incredible job.
I don't understand how anyone would turn on her either. And I did hear her say, I watched What Happens Live last night when Andy asked her, she's like, "All right, do you even watch this show?" And she goes, "No." She said she's going to watch The Valley all at once. She's going to binge it. But as far as Vanderpump, she hasn't been watching it. And then she was sort of like, well, I was on Broadway. And so like, I didn't have a lot of time. And he goes, no, no, I understand. She goes, but no, it's upsetting. Like it's traumatizing for me for real. And he said, have you seen clips? Have you seen what people are saying in their confessionals? And she said, yes. And she said the only thing that really bothered her that stuck out was when Sheena said, "Oh, I guess Ariana's gone from being my backup dancer to being on Dancing with the Stars." And she said she goes, "That didn't like that wasn't nice."
Cheap shot,
Cheap shot,
Sheena.
Sheena. You're never going to get on Dancing with the Stars with that attitude.
Ooh, karma.
Mm. Um, wouldn't it be funny if next season they asked Brock to be on Dancing with the Stars?
God, please no.
Just everybody but Sheena.
Yeah, everybody but
They put a wide net to the whole cast except Sheena. They ask the girl that went on
Anne.
they ask Anne, they ask the girl that went on the date with Schwartz and Katie.
Yes.
They ask everybody. Listen, Anne should be on the Dancing with the Stars.
Penny's husband, the lawyer. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hippie. Yeah. All right. We can go on.
Hippie. Schwartz asked Katie, "Listen, what do you think? Do you want to come over to my room? We'll sit on our phones and ignore each other and watch TV." And she's like, "Ew, no." She was like, "That's way too intimate. I'd rather just like bang it out." Like, no. Plus, she's like, "Not with that hair. Sorry." No. How can you even look at him with that hair? Like, how can you even look at him with that hair?
It probably helps Katie, to be honest with you.
It's
You
true.
know, like, ugh, I'm glad I'm
Ugh.
not with that guy and his girlfriend that dyed his hair this color.
Poor Joe. So then Sandoval and Sheena talk again, and she mentions that he needs to apologize for what he said about when he talked about Ariana's mental health, where he said,
Mm-hmm.
"How was I supposed to break up with you?" And he said, she threatened to, unalive herself. And Sheena's like, "That's not your place, to talk about that." And it seems like of all the things that actually maybe struck a little bit of a nerve with him, that maybe he shouldn't have said that of all the things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a positive, I guess.
I really needed that scene. I loved, to harken back to last season when it was one of the most compelling scenes in reality television that I had ever seen, was the scene between Tom Sandoval and Sheena at the very end when she was like, "Why couldn't you just be a man and like break up with her?" And it was very emotional because Sheena's very real. She's extremely raw and very authentic to herself. And
Yeah.
she's always in the moment, and that's what I like about Sheena.
Yeah.
So to go from that scene of just her seething hatred towards him and just disappointment and heartbreak for her friend into this, which was, let me paint the picture for you that you're not seeing, and don't say anything, please. And just please think about this, because like, if this doesn't resonate with you, you're a lost cause. I mean, and that's not necessarily what she's saying, but I loved that she pointed that out. I also love that she said, that Ariana wasn't everything that she did, freezing her eggs,
Mm.
buying the house with him.
Mm-hmm.
There was a third thing that I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that she was doing was to build a life with him.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't just her doing that for her. So, and then that hurt my heart so bad. And then they cut over to Ariana and she's texting with this new guy. And he's like, "I brought you some leftovers." And you can just see her trying to piece herself together and, be happy. And it really just drove it home one last time for me how sad it was that this all happened, and that what he did to her was so horrific, how
Yes.
he did this.
Yes.
And the only thing I will say is that, Sheena, I love that she made these points, and that's great. But Tom, as said by Ariana, he hasn't even acknowledged or apologized for the thing he actually did to her, let alone be able to come to her and say, "I'm sorry that I brought your mental health into this." Like, it would be too compartmentalized for him to even approach her to apologize for that. I don't think that he should at all, because if he's not going to apologize for the whole thing and mean it, then don't even talk to her. So I think that will not be a good idea, because I don't think he gets it. And I thought too, this is the last chance he has at redemption, because after what Sheena said and the way she said it with such love and care for both of them and her compassion, if that didn't land with him, how he destroyed somebody and their love, and he didn't like leave that conversation in the fetal position,
Mm-hmm.
he is a lost cause. And so for me, I mean, I had written him off a long time ago, but this just further points to that you
Yeah.
see somebody who just does not get it, who's the ultimate narcissist.
Yeah. And I think about when he and Sheena had that conversation in the Sir Alley, and they were talking, and she said, Sandoval, she's like, everything you're saying is like a narcissist. And he goes, well, I don't know, because that's what Lala is. Like, what?
Always.
Why are we talking about Lala? I mean, you know what I mean? He just can't.
Mm-hmm.
He just
Can't.
doesn't get it.
No, he just doesn't get it. Not getting it. Not
It's
getting
wild.
it. Never going to get it.
Should we sing? No, let's not sing it.
I gotta get it now. Okay.
Okay. We will talk about the Valley briefly. And
Ooh, I'm excited.
this episode is season 1, episode 7, called The Number One Gossip in the Group. That's a pretty good one.
And who is that?
Well, it's a toss-up. Is it Jax or is it Janet?
Oh,
Because we get into the fact that Janet really loves to gossip. And she
I've been
owns
waiting
it.
for this. She's been in the backdrop for a long time.
Yeah. So we start off this episode in the Mondrian in the hallway, and Zach says that he's telling them all Luke and Kristen left, and then they all start talking again about like, what is the thing that she's saying about protecting you, Michelle? What is it? Why she keeps saying that? And they're all like, oh. And Jasmine says, in her talking head, Jasmine goes, I know the rumor. And I assume Jesse knows the rumors, and that's why he's so agitated, because he doesn't want people airing this. And what they're not saying, of course, is on camera. And they're all saying, Kristen always gets everything wrong. And then Nia, who's been holding a napkin up the whole time, was like, you guys, like, I got to go. Like, boobs are pouring.
Okay.
Yeah. She's like, I got to go.
Poor Nia.
So Jesse speaks to all of them and says,
Mhm.
okay, so the rumor, or what somebody said, was that I said I'm divorcing her in 2 months. And if anything, Michelle would be divorcing me. And Michelle's like, yeah, that's true. That's true. What he said, right? And then they all kind of go around and say that they're basically trying to kick Kristen off the island. They're trying to kick her off her own show. They're basically like, none of us are fucking with Kristen anymore. We're not inviting her to anything. Like, she's dead to us. And they're like, well, I'm sure they're all sitting around going, well, this is a problem because she's a main star on the show.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for.
Because all you people are new and we don't know you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The production asked Michelle, what is the secret? Like, go ahead and say it. What's the secret? And she just looks dead at the camera and goes, I have no idea. So then we see Jesse and Michelle in their kitchen at their house. And he's like, Kristen is pathological. She's getting worse and worse. And then Jesse says, if anything, Michelle, this whole situation with Kristen and everything, her lying about us is bringing us closer. Because we're like team Jesse, team Michelle. And she's like, okay.
Whatever you want to tell yourself.
They literally zoom in on her going, yeah, team Michelle and Jesse. Yeah.
I can't believe she's even around at this point. Like, I guess, do you think she just signed the contract and was like, oh shit, now we can't officially get divorced until the end of the show?
Yes. I think that I've been saying all along, obviously they told them they were picking up cameras in like 2 weeks, because no way Brittany would have scheduled that chin liposuction, and no way would Nia have agreed to go on with 8-week-old twins. You know what I mean? So I've always said, like, obviously they picked up cameras really fast once it got greenlit. And someone texted me that Zach said on the after show that that's exactly what happened. And that's why his hair looks so crazy, is because he had an appointment to get his hair cut. And they said, we're picking up cameras in like 5 days. And he didn't get to his barber. And then he had to leave his hair like that the whole season because it couldn't change for the interviews.
Oh my God.
And that's why his hair looks like a Lego.
But what would they be able to even do at the barber?
I don't know,
because like his hairline is like that.
Well, they could thin it out so it didn't look so much like a Lego square on top of his head. Like, it just clicked right on.
Okay, clicked. Yeah, good point.
Jesse says that when they first dated, that she would yell at him if he ever put his phone face down. And every time she went out with her friends, they would always do boomerangs with their margaritas. And he said, but in the last year, whenever she goes out, she never posts a boomerang. And I asked her, why aren't you posting if you're out with your friends? And she goes, oh, I'm taking a social media break. And he goes, so that's suspicious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think if you're the kind of girly that does a boomerang every time you go out with your drinks,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you stop, I think that's
Yeah.
pretty.
That is a red flag.
That's a red flag.
100% a red flag. Yes, you are
Yes.
so right.
So he was like, have you been being honest with me? And she goes, yeah, like we're not those people. He goes, yeah, we're not those people. Like we don't have secrets and nobody's protecting anything. And she goes, right. Now we see Janet and Jason talking about the rumor situation. And Janet's like, and then Jasmine told me this, and then I couldn't believe it in the Jax. And Jason says, what do you and Jasmine have to do with anything? And Janet's like, And Janet says, well, Jax, he's a real big talker about everyone else's stuff. Like, look over here at this thing, so don't look at my thing. And the producer asked her, Janet, do you like to gossip? And she goes, yes, I do. Jason says, Janet quit her full-time job when she got pregnant, but she picked up another full-time job talking shit.
That's good.
Which I was like, okay,
And
so
he
Janet
loves
really
her.
is.
He
Yeah, he
loves
loves
that
her.
about her. I love Jason.
But so that really is her thing. Talking smack is her thing.
Okay.
She's the bone collector of the valley.
Wow. And really the competition is Jax. And Jax can sniff it out because he's the one who called it out like in episode 2, where he was like, Janet likes to stir it up and pretend she's not part of it.
Yes. And I've seen other cast members say, like, don't sleep on Janet because, and I said that to somebody like, oh, I love her. I go, you can still love her. She just might be it. We love Sheree. She's the bone collector.
That's right. Well,
That's
and
right.
then that's what's going to make the show great.
Yeah, you got to have somebody.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody.
And you have many in this situation. I mean, you've got Kristen, you've got Jax, and you obviously have Janet. So
yes. Yeah. And you got Michelle being the denier.
Right.
I deny everything. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
With that director.
Kristen goes to the doctor. Everything's fine. Okay, whatever. She's got enough follicles, Amy. She's good on her follicles. Her follicles are good.
That's great news.
She's good to go. Now, okay, Cruz is doing speech therapy with his teacher.
Okay.
And Jax goes in the kitchen and tells Brittany and her mother that they're being too loud. He's like, we're paying too much money. You guys have got to not talk in the kitchen. And then he starts doing things like, has anybody seen my readers? Has anybody seen my glasses? And Brittany says in her talking head, this new talking head look of Brittany's is severe.
Which one is it?
So her eyebrows are way up here.
Okay.
And it's like a strapless dress, but it's got like tiny little chains on it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful color, but whoa.
Yeah.
So in this talking head, she says, if Jack shushes me one more time, I'm going to knock the fire out of him.
Shushes the fire. I love that lady so much. Oh, Brittany's my favorite.
So something we say in this, I'm going to knock the fire out of you. You better get the hell away from me. Yeah, I speak Brittany. I speak fluent Brittany. I got it.
Yeah, you do. I do. Good.
Now Jason and Janet come over to talk to Jax and Brittany on their porch. Jasmine says, no. So, okay. Janet says, Jasmine said Jax knows what the protection comment's about. So it's like Janet says, Jasmine says that Jax knows.
Right. Because he told her at that lunch when he had a soda. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he set Jasmine up to say it, but she didn't say it at the Mondrian.
Right. That was Jax's whole plan.
Mm-hmm.
So Brittany's like, what? Jax, what? And he says, well, I don't know. Kristen came over the other night and she was drunk. And then she said Michelle had something going on the side. I don't know. But like, because it's Kristen, like maybe it's not even true. I don't know. And Jasmine looked at Brittany and goes, I heard you also know all the details. And Brittany goes, maybe I do. But unlike Kristen, I'm not going to tell my friend's business, okay? Because it's not about Brittany. I was like, okay,
she talks
Brittany.
About her in the third person.
She said, because it's not about Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
Jason says, look, you jumped on the Kristen train by telling Jasmine what was going on. And Brittany's like, Jax, quit running your mouth.
Jax.
She's so mad at him. And he's like, what? And he literally is like, what?
Oh, MP.
What? What? It's a deviated septum. What? So he says, look, I don't know what it means. I'm not saying it's true. And he looks over at Janet and goes, don't act like you wouldn't do the same thing, Janet. She was like, it's not about me. I didn't do it. I don't know. And then Jax says the funniest Jax thing that's ever been said. He says, look, here's the thing. I'm losing my touch. It was such an easy project. Jasmine, go figure out what Michelle is texting. Come back and tell me so I don't have to do it myself. And then I'll drop the bomb. She failed.
Wow.
When
He laid it all out.
Yeah. He says it was such an easy project. Jasmine screwed the whole thing up.
Yeah, because she didn't fall for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She wasn't going to be the messenger and then get all the heat. She's smart. She's the smartest person that's ever been on a reality show because they thought it'd be so easy. Jax was like, oh, I'll just definitely use her to do the dirty work. No problem. And she'll take the fall. She's like, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
No,
I'm not
she's
doing
like,
that. This is not my problem.
Brittany and Jax go to a sex therapist. They ask, how often are they having sex? And Brittany goes, I don't know, like once a month. She looks at the camera and goes, twice a year. She worries that he's not attracted to her post-baby. The therapist asks if they've had any cheating or anything in their past, and maybe that's a block between them. And she was like, it was a long time ago. And then the producer asked her, like, do you ever worry about that? Like, are you a human? Because anybody married to this man would be worried about that.
Yeah.
And she says, of course she worries about it. She feels like it's not what's going on, but she does worry if he's not being intimate with her, then why not? Okay. They do some exercises where they breathe and hold hands. And she also says he doesn't appreciate me like he used to. He doesn't make any effort to even be nice, and it has to change or we won't stay together. I mean, we saw him like talking so down to her. You know?
Yeah.
Now,
she wants to feel the butterflies again.
I know she wants to make me feel sexy.
Yeah.
Jax. Dang.
Where's my date night? Where's my date night, Jax? Where's my date night?
Well, spoiler alert, it's coming up and it doesn't go well.
Oh, sure.
Jax and Luke and Jason go bowling. Luke is real good at bowling, by the way. And they want to talk to Luke about how everyone's turned on Kristen. Nobody wants to be around her. And he's got to do something to fix it, right?
Fishing hole.
Yeah. And Jason says, look, you guys don't have to be Bonnie and Clyde. Like, Bonnie could have said, hey, Clyde, don't rob that bank. Or in this case, spread that gossip. Like, you guys don't always have to have her back.
Who said that to him?
Jason.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like Jason.
So Jax is talking to Luke and he's like, Kristen is a known liar. And Luke goes, you're an admitted pathological liar. And we get a couple of clips of him, admitting, yeah, I'm a pathological liar. And Jack's like, that was a decade ago. It was a decade ago. Jack says he's a terrible.
But nothing has changed. Nothing has changed with anybody.
He says I'm a terrible I was a terrible person, but I've grown up. And then they do 100 clips of Jack through the years telling us that he's now
changed.
I'm
a work in progress. I'm a work in progress.
But now he's
changed. He's finally made it. Okay.
Jack says every one of Kristen's ex-boyfriends say she's a compulsive liar. And people are just done with her. And Jason says, look, man, like put yourself in Jesse's position. And this is Jesse and Michelle do not want her around. Like you could put yourself in Jesse's position. She's saying shit about their family. They have a kid. And Jack says, maybe now you get it. Like if we're talking to you. And Luke says in his talking head, he's like, look, I'm not okay with the way Jesse has acted, but I'm not blind and deaf. I can see what's going on with Kristen, so I'll talk to her. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't so much as like, I mean, the problem with Kristen is that she's got a big mouth, but she gets her facts wrong. Like she literally hears things the way that she wants to hear it. She has like a scandalous ear that turns normal things into gossip and scandal. I mean, what Jesse said to Jackson, the guys the other week was about how he'd be surprised if he was still married to Michelle in a couple months because she would leave him. Not because he would leave her. And for Kristen to be like, well, Jesse said he's going to divorce you in 2 months. It's like, huh? Like, literally, they were like, that's not at all like what.
Yeah.
The
funniest part of that scene was when Jax walked out of the dinner room. He walked out of the dinner room and heard them talking about this. And he was like, ooh, turned around, walked right back in. We have a dinner scene with Nia and Danny talking with Jesse and Michelle. And Nia and Danny are thinking about moving to Santa Clarita.
Hello.
Yay.
You know your girl put it on the map.
I was like, neighbors.
I got so many messages about it because I live in Santa Clarita. If your lovely listeners don't know. But yeah, Santa Clarita is the best. So Danny and Nia want to move here?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They could get a house with a yard. So Kristen, I'm trying to wrap this up. I know that you have to go, but Kristen and Luke talk, and basically he's like, girl, you're getting your facts wrong. And he says, look, she goes, I know changing one word sometimes is a problem. Words are hard. and then she goes, and he goes, I don't want you to say you're sorry, but, and she goes, but other people are just too worried about their skeletons coming out. He's like, I told you not to do it.
They can't help it. You can't help it.
Jax and Brittany go on a date to the Mondrian. So I guess they just kept that room over.
Back to the Mondrian. Wow.
They're having a nice meal. A chef is serving them. And he is saying, you know, having more kids is going to require more work. And I worry about the focus that Cruz needs to get right now because he's going through something. We need to be focusing on his needs. And she gets all defensive. And she's like, Cruz will always get what he needs. I put him first. I'm a wonderful mother. I am a wonderful wife. And he's like, you're deflecting. That's not what I'm saying. And she's like, you told me we're going to have another kid. So if you're not ready, you let me know because I live for my child. He's like, okay. And she's like, don't cry. And she's like, you can't tell me not to have an emotion. He's like, okay, I'm just trying to have a conversation. Oh, fuck. And she just starts bawling, crying. And she's mad at him about 400 other things.
Yeah, right.
And then he tells her, he's like, I'm worried about money all the time. Like, I have to work. My job requires me to leave the house and yours doesn't. She's like, what? The bar is ours together.
I love your Brittany. The bar is ours together. Yeah.
Because I did. I put the same amount of money in you did. And so he says.
I didn't know that.
That's what she said.
Wow. Okay.
He says, Brittany doesn't see the big picture. She sees rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and a money tree that grows in the backyard. And I think we should work on our marriage before we have another baby. Now that I agree with.
Yeah, that I agree with. But to diminish her as a person.
Oh yeah.
He's
that's all he does. And he goes, look, here's the thing. I'm a planner. I need a plan. So like right now, like I think like we need to concentrate on Cruz at the bar and like I'm a planner. And she goes, I don't understand what you're planning because you don't even do anything.
I love this.
And he goes, well, that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face. Like, do you not see the house we live in? Do you think it came out of nowhere? And she goes, no, Jax, I think we both work together and put the same amount of money into the house.
Oh.
You're not going to do that, Jax. So he stands up and leaves. There's rose petals on the bed. He leaves.
Oh, shit.
Previews for next week, Amy. He says, so I guess we're just going to go out there and announce to everybody that you left the house. And she goes, yeah, so I guess it's
That's already next week?
Next week. Yes.
Oh, my God.
This show is so good.
I mean, to think like this was a publicity stunt, you know what I mean? Like, remember when we all thought that?
Yes, totally.
Wow. My God.
Every person that's been on Watch What Happens Live or any show, when asked about this, does not think they'll get back together. They even gave James and Allie a bigger chance of lasting over Jackson Brittany.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I'm happy for Brittany.
Me too.
She is just not stupid. And that narrative, you know, is just not
like
right
he's like,
for her.
you're just stay-at-home mom. Like, I have to leave the house. And she's like, what'd you say to me?
I mean, I love her. She's a star. She's the greatest thing that's happened to Vanderpump Rules from the you know, the second she stepped on camera. I just love her.
She's just a little Kentucky muffin. Well, speaking of your amazing show, Drama Darling. Okay, like we've said, there's 2 episodes on the free feed a week, and there's 3 or more on Patreon.
Yes.
And currently, what are you covering? Lay it all out for me.
Well, Tuesdays and Thursdays are the free eps, and so like this week for Tuesday, I did Below Deck, and also a hint of Baby Reindeer.
Oh, a hint of Baby Reindeer.
Just like a review, kind of.
And
And the bonus episode is the Jinx over on Patreon. But Thursday will be The Valley.
Okay.
And then I did Vanderpump Rules today, along with Vanderpump Villa. Friday will be Summer House.
Okay.
And I do Top Chef on Mondays. So just
Bravo keeps you busy, even though there's no housewives on.
Oh God, yeah. And people want to do like throwbacks and things.
Yeah.
You know, so there's just so much to do. And like as you saw, Jersey's coming up. So and Below Deck Med will be in here in June. And yeah, it's just fun. It's good stuff.
Me, I can't get on board with Below Deck.
That's okay. Get on board.
I used to be on board with Below Deck, but now I'm just like, there's too many spinoffs and it's too much.
You've got enough going on.
That's true. TLC puts out a new 90 Day Fiancé every week.
And they're so long.
And they're 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Everybody follow Amy Phillips over on the Instagram at Meet Amy Phillips.
Thank you.
She puts amazing content over there. She's got great impressions, and she's going to repost something about her video for the grand.
Yes, thank you. I will. Thank you.
Ideas are free, guys. And please follow me on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. You know, I'm out here horning out for the people, trying to get Instagram followers. But I'll do a collab with you on this, and maybe 20 of your people will come over and join me.
Great. And I would love to see some of your friends and your folks over on my podcast and my Insta.
They've got to. They don't know what they're missing with these amazing impressions. They've got to. Yeah. Thumbs up, girl.
Thumbs up. Love you, Mary Payne. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm going to give you a heart.
I always love coming on and doing your show because I love catching up with you.
I know. Okay, thank you very much, Amy. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
Don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.